Howdy, my totally tubular sharkaholics, and we are back for the Shark Scale Year 4. Today's movie is From the Depths. So we had Up From the Depths, which came out well over 30 or 40 years ago, and now we have From the Depths, which came out in 2020, and is a psychological horror movie. So this will be interesting. This will be interesting for sure. So From the Depths is about this woman. Now, this woman is kind of messed up. She suffers from psychological trauma, like a really bad situation. She was out at the ocean with her sister and boyfriend one day when they were subject to a violent shark attack. Her boyfriend and sister are actually killed in this attack, and she barely lives. She is constantly haunted by the shark attack and that she couldn't save the other people. The movie is about her coping with their deaths and trying to have a steady relationship with her new girlfriend, who is really trying to accept all of this. The plot of this movie is quite different from the normal shark movie. It is a lot slower paced and methodical than the norm. It is an interesting premise and is really the only shark movie that explores this avenue. Nightmare Shark almost explored this avenue, but that was more in dreams rather than someone's general subconscious. Up From the Depths does have a few dream sequences though. It is unique in the psychological aspect. However, it is something different going for it. I can give it props for trying something different. And seeing our main character struggle with reality was entertaining enough, and her girlfriend was decent as well. This movie obviously really focuses on its characters more than anything else, and it does a really good job establishing all of them and being clear cut. If the characters weren't good, this movie would have nothing going for it. Luckily, it's strong enough characters. The entire cast is well done. The way the plot progresses is nice, as well as the movie ramping up in a way that is unexpected. The ending was equally as unexpected, and while I was not a huge fan of it, it certainly caught me off guard, which is not easy to do when it comes to these shark movies. I think the plot and characters was one of the stronger aspects with the movie, and it made for an entertaining time. It was interesting enough that I genuinely did not know what was going to happen next. So with this being a more psychological horror movie, how does the shark play into this? Well, the shark shows up more psychologically as well. There are a few scenes where it's present in the water, but for the most part it's in her house. It's in the house just floating in midair and stalks her, really. It shows up in a number of different scenes, and when it shows up it does leave at least a minor impact. It has something to do with the meaning. There is purpose behind it showing up. It's not just showing up for the sake of showing up. So with that in mind, I guess the shark is good in that aspect. It does have meaning behind it. It's not great, for sure, but I'd say it's good enough. And hey, it's a floating shark in someone's house. It's pretty goofy. The only other movie I can think of that even has a shark in the house is House Shark, but I'll be honest, House Shark just blows this movie out of the water. Okay, so floating shark aside, how does it look? Is it at least decent when it comes to the CGI? How does it animate? I'm going to actually say it looks pretty okay. I'm going to say for 2020, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think it looks pretty alright. This is a decently indie flick. This isn't some big blockbuster, even SYFY movie. I think it is pretty alright. There is some effort put into the shark model, or at least they ripped a really good one. It was pretty decent to good. There is a fair amount of detail in the shark, and when it does show up in the water, I think it actually looks even a bit better as it's able to hide that indie-like appearance. When it comes to the screen time, I think it was relatively good as well, as, like I said earlier, there's meaning and purpose behind it, so that's a plus. I thought the pacing was really good for the shark showing up on screen, and when it comes to the kills, there's really nothing to speak of. There's not really any kills in this movie, so I guess it just doesn't get a grade on that one. Hey, at least the shark has meaning behind it. Nothing worse than a shark showing up for no reason, right? Anyway, so this movie is clearly not so much about the shark, but more so the characters. With that in mind, how's the acting? The acting, I think, is actually, it's pretty decently good. It's relatively good. It's decently engaging. A couple enduring characters, and I think the main lead actually is able to convey a lot of emotions in a couple different ways I didn't expect from her, and I was decently impressed with what she did. Was she, absolutely amazing, Hollywood blockbuster quality? No, of course not, but that's not this kind of movie, given the production, the budget, and everything. I think she was quite good. Everyone else was pretty middling to okay. There were some that were better than others, and it was better than I expected. I expected crap, to be honest, but it was okay. It was nothing terrible. It gets a pass from me. Pretty decent, and really, that's all I can say about the movie as a whole. Is it was quite decent. Do I think it was amazing or special? I think it was alright. It was pretty middle of the road, and maybe a little bit above middle of the road in terms of quality, but it didn't really do anything outstanding. It didn't really do anything great, but it didn't do anything bad either. It told a decent enough little story, had a good looking shark that didn't have any kills but had some meaning behind it, and that had some good characters. I will give it that. It definitely tried to do something different, and it really went out there to try to be something other than the standard shark movie. I like the psychological aspect of the movie. It tried to provide something different, and I mean, that's something I can't really say about most shark movies, is that it really did try to feel different and provide something different from the normal shark movie. And to someone like me who's seen over 100 of these goddamn movies, that says something. I genuinely did not know where this movie was going to go. I didn't know what was happening. Towards the end, I was like, what's going to happen next? And so they must have done something right. Or I'm so used to watching garbage at this point that the moment there's anything decent, I'm just like, ooh, ooh. Still, I'm not going to act like this was a masterpiece or something you should totally go out of your way to watch. This was a decent little flick that tried to be a little different, and it succeeded in being different, but it isn't outstanding by any means. For the most part, it was quite average, and with all that in mind, I'm going to give the movie a solid average 3 out of 5 on the shark scale. Still pretty good, and I'd say if you're looking for something different, might be up your alley. Plenty of other shark movies that are better than this, but they're not done like this. I mean, there is Nightmare Shark, but I'd rather watch that than this, honestly. But that's for different reasons. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope everyone enjoyed. I don't know why it took me so long to get to this video, but if you like sharks, stay tuned. See ya.